another edition of the Just Danny Show. This is going to be part 2 from last night's part 1 in regard to Robert Corbett. Tonight I'm going to be going over a position that was created by our former chief of police, Charles Broadway, just before he bounced to go to Kissimmee. And at the end of this podcast, you will see, because I am going to bring receipts as I always do, it is my opinion based on the evidence that I have collected, that be public record. I believe that this position was in fact created specifically for Robert Corbett. Now, this position is called Police General Counsel, otherwise known as a lawyer for the police department. You're probably going, why do we need a lawyer for the police department? Well, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked, because we don't. We already have a city attorney, Christian Waugh, who handles all legal aspects of the city, the entire city, whether that be the police department, the fire department, city hall, all of that. That would be under our city attorney. And just like the city of Claremont, Groveland, Mineola, they all have their own city attorneys. They do not have their own lawyer for their police departments. The only police agency, or law enforcement agency that would have their own lawyer would be a sheriff's office. Case in point, Lake County Sheriff's Office has their own lawyer. Do I like her? No, but I digress on that. Anyway, so they have their own lawyer because they are their own entity. They are separate from the county. So there is a county lawyer, county attorney, that handles everything that has to do with the county, okay? And they have a separate lawyer for the sheriff's office because, again, they are their separate entity because the sheriff is an elected official. He is an elected official, thereby is separate from the county, and it's like his own little island, right? So they have their own lawyer. Municipalities do not. And if they do, it is extremely rare. You rarely hear about it. And for our Claremont Police Department, which is relatively small, I believe we have like 92 sworn officers. We don't need a lawyer, okay? We have Christian Waugh, who is our city attorney, to handle that. But this position was created again out of thin air by former Chief Broadway prior to bouncing to Kissimmee. And before I start showing you the receipts here, I did want to go over the law with you because it matters, because it's a conflict. Okay, so Article 2, Section 5A of the Florida Constitution prohibits what is commonly referred to as dual office holding. So in plain English, one person cannot generally hold more than one office under the state, county, or municipal government at the same time. Now, Florida law doesn't always make it easy to determine what constitutes an office. So my issue with this isn't specifically the dual office situation, although depends on how you look at it, it could be an issue, but that's really not my main argument here. It's a portion of it, but not my main one. My main one is the conflict of interest and safeguards put in place, and I'll get into that here in just a moment. But then we have an Attorney General opinion, 69-2, which explains that a municipal police officer may be considered an officer because police officers exercise a portion of the sovereign power of the government. Another AG opinion, 69-3, concluded that a city attorney may constitute an officer where the position exercises independent governmental authority and performs duties involving the exercise of sovereign power. Another AG opinion, 90-15, reaffirmed that municipal police officers are officers for purposes of Florida's constitutional dual office holding prohibition. Now, the Florida Supreme Court has also similarly explained that an office exists when an individual exercises a portion of the sovereign power conferred by law as well. So again, it's not really my beef because it's pretty debatable whether Claremont's Police General Counsel position ultimately qualifies as an office for constitutional purposes anyways. But what's not debatable here is Florida ethics laws prohibit public employees from occupying positions that create recurring conflicts of interest. Section 112.312, subsection 6 of the Florida statutes defines a conflict of interest as a situation in which regard for a private interest tends to lead to disregard of a public duty to interest, or interest. Section 112.313, subsection 7A, Florida statutes prohibits any employment or relationship that creates a continuing or frequently recurring conflict between private interest and public duties, or that impedes the full and faithful discharge of those duties. And then there's a Florida bar opinion, which I've included here because obviously Robert Corbett is a lawyer. So this is a Florida bar opinion, 76-43, recognized the dangers that arise when a lawyer simultaneously serves in a law enforcement capacity and has access to information unavailable to the general public. I mean, and that's pretty much a no-brainer. That's self-explanatory. Now, Florida Bar Opinion 78-7 partially modified that opinion, but continued to recognize the need for independence and the avoidance of conflicts. So in a 2005 Attorney General opinion interpreting Section 454.18 of the Florida statutes, the Attorney General concluded that a practicing attorney generally could not volunteer as a deputy sheriff while simultaneously practicing law because of the conflicts inherent in performing both roles. Now, the statute specifically states a deputy sheriff and not specifically a municipal officer. Potatoes, okay? But the concern identified by the AG is the same, okay? The inherent tension created when one individual simultaneously functions as both a lawyer and a law enforcement officer. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that that could cause some problems. Yet Claremont intentionally, and you'll see momentarily when I start putting the receipts up, they intentionally created a position requiring both legal duties and active law enforcement certification. So that's going to raise another concern under Florida ethics laws, section 112.313, subsection 8, Florida statutes. It prohibits a public officer or employee using information, here we go again, unavailable to members of the general public and obtained through their official position for personal benefit or for the benefit of another person or business entity. Now, to be crystal clear here, I am not stating, I am not even alleging that Mr. Corbett has violated the statute, because obviously I have no evidence of this. But what I am trying to state is that there are concerns that Claremont intentionally created this position that combines legal counsel duties with access to sensitive departmental information, active law enforcement authority, and a private law practice in a single individual. And again, the Florida Commission of Ethics has repeatedly recognized that ethic laws are not concerned solely with proven misconduct. They're basically concerned with the structures that create recurring opportunities, right, for conflicts of interest. Again, I'm not saying that he's done anything wrong, but that this position that they have grabbed out of thin air and created, again, fight me, for Robert Corbett, is giving him the opportunity and the temptation at any point in time. And conflicts of interest, divided loyalties, or misuse of non-public information. And as the commission has explained, the question is whether two roles are truly separate and distinct, or whether they coincide in a way that creates a situation that, quote, tempts dishonor. Tempts dishonor. It's tempting because he has all this access to information because he is a law enforcement officer, and he could use it for his private practice as a lawyer. Okay, so again, just to be crystal clear, I'm not alleging that he has done anything like that, but they use the quote tempts dishonor. There is a conflict here. Okay, and that's really the issue. So the question again isn't whether he's had any misconduct, because it's not proven, but that they created a position that combines these roles. And there's no safeguards in place. They never put safeguards in place for anything that they've done. I've proven this. Like with the AI thing a couple weeks ago, they were just going to put that on the consent agenda. There was no safeguards in place for any misuse on that. Anything that is in regard to the police department, there are never any safeguards put in place. I could take you back to the IDI court shit show. They didn't even have policies on that. So this position was created out of thin air. I believe most of it was done. It initially was birthed outside of public record, meaning that it was a conversation had maybe over the phone, in person, because I did FOIA request all of the public record regarding the creation of this, the interviews, the notes on the interviews. Was there some kind of Rubik, like how did they grade this, as far as the interviewees, and all of this. And you're going to be, it's quite remarkable what I found. So we're going to go ahead and start with the first mention of this. Again, I believe, because based on what I asked for, which I was very specific, I wanted to see all communications regarding this position. What I really wanted to see was who birthed it. Okay. And what I can tell, it was Broadway. So we're going to go ahead and bring up the first piece to this puzzle of legal counsel. So let's bring that up. And as you can see, this was dated Tuesday, December 17th in 2024. Lindsay, please see me on this. This is from Nadine. She's our human resource lady, for lack of a better term, lady. And as you can see here, it says from Charles Broadway, December 17th as well, 11:32 a.m. And she immediately, it appears to me like she's, what the fuck's going on? Lindsay, please see me on this. And so what he attached to this, I'll bring that up. Again, this had to be a conversation previous to somebody, but it appears this is the very first instance of this being mentioned, this position. So it appears that he just said, hey, Nadine, here. So this is what he attached. City of Claremont Police General Counsel or legal advisor. And then he's got like an hourly salary range there, and then an annual salary range. And then it goes into all of the responsibilities. And I'm not going to read you verbatim what it says, but in a nutshell, what the Police General Counsel does is initiates and prosecutes civil forfeiture actions, drafts police-related ordinances, reviews disciplinary actions, provides legal advice regarding police operations, provides legal advice regarding public records compliance. And there's the problem right there. He's a piece of shit when it comes to the public records bullshit. But I digress on that. That's a whole nother fucking podcast. Serves as liaison to the state attorney's office, coordinates litigation arising from police operations, reviews legal issues involving police officers, and does all of this, again, while simultaneously remaining an active certified law enforcement officer, because the job description requires him to be a certified law enforcement officer. So that is the first peak of this whole general counsel thing. Like, where the fuck did it come from? I am going to again state it was a conversation somewhere, and I believe it was between Robert Corbett and police chief former Broadway. And the reason, if you watched part 1 yesterday, I brought up Corbett's profile on, what was it, 50-a.org, and he literally worked for the legal bureau. Okay, keep that legal bureau's title in your head, because he was over, they had several, I believe if I remember correctly, they had like 12 lawyers for the I don't know if it was just for the 20th precinct where he was located, or if it was like collectively all the precincts in Manhattan. I couldn't tell you because I did not get into it that far. All I know is there was a legal bureau that he was like the head dick of, and there was like 12 lawyers. So I'm going to go ahead and surmise from that it was probably collectively a bureau over all of the precincts. Okay. So this is where Corbett came from. This is what Corbett did. This is what Corbett was used to. So how the fuck do you think that Broadway, who wasn't the brightest bulb in the bunch, okay? Remember him saying uh, plethora, the word plethora, he said plethora, okay? So not the brightest bulb in the bunch. I wouldn't think that after so many years of him being the chief, that all of a sudden he woke up one day and said, Police General Counsel, we need a Police General Counsel. No, this idea came from Corbett. Again, fucking fight me. And if you're watching, Corbett, suck it. Okay, so there was that. And so she said Lindsay, and I don't exactly know who this Lindsay Fisher is. I'm guessing maybe she is HR as well. So let's bring up the next piece of shit thing here we have here. And this is Thursday, December 26th. So this is the only other following that December 17th email that I found, or that, not that I found, that I received from my public records request. This was sent December 26th. So this is like the day after Christmas. And it's to Broadway from Nadine. And she's like, regarding the legal advisor job description, ... So obviously this would look like she doesn't really want to put it on record. Maybe she, hey, call me. And then I got this, bring this next thing up here. This looks like an inter-office memorandum, maybe that they can send through a chat system or something. I'm not really understanding this unless she just literally printed this out and sent it to his office. I don't know. But same day, a little bit like an hour later, she's trying to schedule a meeting. And she's requiring Charles Broadway, the chief, to be there. Meeting status, not yet responded. So it looks like he ignored her regarding that. And then I have, let me bring this next thing up here. Now, this is dated 12/27. This is the next day, 12/27/24. So do you see how quickly this all just started to just come about? Again, there was probably conversation before that December 17th email to HR, because how the hell is he just going to wake up one day and go, Police General Counsel, and then just make up a job description and just email it off to Nadine? It's just fucking weird. So we know there was some conversation, but it wasn't memorialized. And it obviously isn't part of any kind of public record. So well done. Now, this is what they call a JAT form, position control form. As you can see here, again, dated December 27th, 2024. So just the day after she was like, hey, what the fuck? You can see here the current to requested to. So when you create a position, you have to take a position away. Okay, you have to take a position that is already existing and you have to take that position away. So they thought that it was just super fucking cool to take a road cop, call them road cops, take a road cop position, just a basic bitch police officer position, which, we're a growing community. I mean, they just amended the budget for $1 million because we need more police officers. But yet they felt that it was fucking okay to snag one out of the budget and replace that police officer with this fucking stupid Police General Counsel. Okay? So as you can see here, the hourly annual rate for the police officer position was $24.26, just for numbers purposes there, slash $53,000 a year. Okay? And then it shows to the right there, requested to Police General Counsel. And so the pay grade is considered 123, and we'll get into that here shortly so I can show you what that pay fucking grade is. So they robbed Peter to pay Paul over here, basically, and they took a much needed position off the books to replace it with this needless, stupid fucking position that we don't need, that you'll see here shortly more than doubles Corbett's salary. P.S. by the way. Now, the more interesting fact is if you move down here, you will see there are questions that you have to complete when you are doing a position control form, which is you are taking one position away and you're replacing it with another position. And it says complete all that apply. Now, maybe Broadway could come back later and say, well, none of those applied, but I think so. I think they do, but I digress. But so number one, he doesn't even bother with it. New position, provide specific information to justify why this position is needed. Why is this needed, Broadway? Number two, reclassification of an existing/filled position. How has this position changed? Explain significant changes in the level of duties assigned to be assigned. In his answer, job reclassification due to increase in duties and responsibilities per the new job description.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there actually on number two, reclassification of an existing filled position. This, again, is a joke, okay? It's semantics because number one, new position, he left it blank, right? Because you only fill out or you only answer the applicable questions. He didn't think it was applicable because he's trying to pass this off as a reclassification. Ray Charles can see that it's a new position, okay? I don't know what kind of games he was trying to play here. I'm not buying it. Maybe you disagree with me and you feel like, no, this is totally reclass. This is a new position. General counsel is a new position. It never existed. He is in fact taking away a police officer position where they're active on the road, if you will, road cop, going to calls, protecting the community. He's literally taking that position away and replacing it with a new position. To me, in my opinion, this is not a reclass. This is literally getting rid of a police officer position entirely and then just trying to play semantics with wording and say, oh no, it's a reclass. And then it was a real shitty reason. Explain significant changes in the level of duties assigned or to be assigned. It just, due to increase in duties. This is just bullshit. I'm just not buying it at all. And then of course, under number three, reclassification of an existing vacant position. Why is the reclassification being requested? Reclassify position from vacant 84-hour officer to civilian police general counselor due to a need for the new position. So this, to me, here is contradictory of number two, because he's simultaneously saying that it's just a reclass of an existing filled position. And then under number three, he's saying that it's a reclass of an existing vacant position. It's so confusing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm being retarded here. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Is it a reclass of an existing filled position or is it a reclass of an existing vacant position? He's saying yes. Well, yes, it is. You can't have it both ways. It's confusing. And again, maybe I'm not understanding it, but I think I am. And I think it's semantics. I think it's bullshit. And I think number one should have been filled out. And let's just call it what it is. It's a new position, and you're literally taking away a police officer position for it. I don't care if Corbett's fat ass was in that police officer position initially. You're deleting that position and you are changing it to a new position. This reclass is bullshit. They're doing this so they don't have to get council's approval because they're saying, oh, well, the money's already there. Since we didn't have to take any money and create new monies out of the budget, it doesn't have to go before council. This was the safe way to circumvent the whole issue with taking it before council to get council's approval. He circumvented that process. But genius Broadway. This is the shady shit that goes on at the CPD. And even though Broadway is no longer there, which all you guys that think he was just the bomb and the greatest, think again, because he wasn't. Okay? And the shady shit is still lingering like scum on top of a pond over there at CPD. Nothing's changed.
You'll see on number three here, reclassification of an existing vacant position. Why is the reclassification being requested? Reclassify position from vacant 84-hour officer to civilian. Now, this is laughable because he states it's civilian. It's not, because this motherfucker is a certified police officer and it's in his job description, meaning he still has arresting powers and he can still arrest people and he still is a law enforcement officer. So this right here is contradictory in and of itself. How are you going to say that he has to be a certified police officer and in the other side of your mouth say that it's a civilian police general counselor? Because the job description states you have to be a certified police officer. And the reason why it states that, folks, and you'll see here shortly, because there was an email that HR sent out, it looks like to an attorney's office of some sort, asking about police pension. They were trying to question if they should have it mandatory you be a certified police officer, or you could just be a basic bitch coming in lawyer and sitting your ass at the police department for a cush six-figure job, not doing shit, but just directing people. And it came back that they decided that they were going to go ahead and make it a certified position because he would lose his pension. So tell me again how this makes sense. Wah, if you're listening or you hear about this, we need to talk, or you need to talk to a council member about this, because this is absolute bullshit and it's right here in front of your, our fucking faces. So they were all over the place with what they were going to start paying this position. Now it goes up to $162,198.40 annually. If you remember, the first one showed $130,000. So they're just kind of all over the place here with compensation. And then here's another one they sent me. It's, I think, $4,000 less annually for the max out. Here's one for just $130,000. So they just kept changing the annual max out here. And this is the one that they actually settled on, PS, by the way. And also I want you to take notice here that the opening date was January the 2nd, 2025, and the closing date was January the 8th. So 6 days they put this out. They were real serious. They were real serious about finding people for this, right? Am I right? We all know it was for Corbett. Come on. Are we fucking stupid? Then we got a December 31st email here, 11:35 a.m. So Nadine, again, she's with HR. She sent this to Bonnie Jensen. Good morning, Miss Bonnie. We are assisting the police department on creating a new job description for Police General Counselor. It is a legal advisor position. The question has come up regarding eligibility to be in the police officer pension plan. Can you please confirm eligibility? If the job description states a law enforcement certification is preferred but not required, and the candidate hired has a law enforcement certificate, and then Nadine gave her, her opinion, which ended up being correct, PS, by the way, when this Bonnie writes her back. But Nadine said, I believe they are not eligible to be in the pension plan. Would the pension board be the decision makers or allowing it? So she's saying there that I believe if they did not have a law enforcement certification, they would not be eligible for the pension plan. And then it says if the job description states a law enforcement certification is required, she gave her opinion, I believe they would be eligible to be in the pension plan. No need for the pension board to decide anything. Now remember, on that JAT form, it was a civilian police general counsel. So which is it? Which is it? According to the form, what is it, which is an official record, he shouldn't be getting a pension because it says it's a civilian general counsel. But here's your answer here why they decided to make it that you had to be certified. Okay, and then on January 2nd, we have one from Nadine going out to former Chief Broadway. And she says, good morning, Chief. I asked Lindsay to update the job description based on our conversation on Tuesday. Okay, see, there you go. There's a conversation that's not been memorialized. There's nothing on the record. Anyways, I had her add the bullet points below, which are also in the police captain job description. Wait for that one. That's coming up too. You may want to remove the part about being a lieutenant. But being that the positions are similar level of responsibility, I included the number of years required as officer. Feel free to change this as appropriate. I know they are not the same position, but they may need the same amount of officer experience. I don't know. Lindsay also made the updates from our conversation the week before. See, there's another conversation that was not memorialized. Florida law enforcement certification. See, they've already made that decision because of the pension. 10 years of experience as a certified sworn officer with a minimum of 1 year of experience at a rank equivalent to or higher than a police lieutenant, all of which Corbett had. So it sounds to me like they were making this really difficult. Do you know what I mean? Because if they're just looking for a quote unquote civilian general legal counsel, now they want a certification and 10 years of experience as a sworn officer and 1 year rank equivalent or higher than a police lieutenant. So these are all, of course, I think they were trying to dwindle down who would apply because they don't want people to apply, but they have to put it out there. You know, legally they have to, and you'll see the fucking smoke and mirrors here. Lindsay Fisher sent one to Nadine at 8:30 that day saying for physical demands and work environment, I just copied the language from Chief's description. And then Nadine, 30 minutes later, sent it to Chief Broadway and said all that other bullshit there. Then on the same day, a little bit later on in the morning, Lindsay sends an email to Nadine and some chick named Nancy Zaccardi. Don't know who that is. Hi, the Police General Counselor posting is set to draft for your review. They would like it posted today, which it did. It posted on January 2nd, 2025. They would like it posted today until next Wednesday. Exam plan /posting 01147. And then in red here, you see waiting on confirmation for law enforcement requirements, but want to be ready with the posting once that decision is made. Please let me know when it has been reviewed. And then, of course, this was the final job bulletin here that they ended up posting. They stuck with the $130,000 instead of the 100, and what was it, 62,000. And then, of course, the, all of the requirements and primary duties, which I just basically in a nutshell already told you. So again, opening January 2nd, ending, closing January 8th, specifically at 10 p.m. Now, in the interim, they did have applicants, and just FYI, they only posted this position on governmentjobs.com and, of course, the City of Claremont website. So those were the only two places that they posted this job. So as you can see, this would be on the governmentjobs.com, and this is the inner workings of what their little user recruiting insight page here. So you can see who applied, and then it was clickable. You could view, I'm sure, their credentials and their resume and all that stuff. So looky. Who applied first? Well, that would have been Corbett, because Corbett fucking knew it was coming. So there's Robert Corbett. He's first in line. He wants it because he's going to get it. Then we got what is this? Wade Connor, Chris Mancini, Yavrenum Cruz, Trevor D. Personaire, I don't know, Cambria Anderson, David Dixon. Next page, we've got Winston Cole, Marcus Johnson, and Corey White, all of which, P.S. by the way, were ignored. But they did get 10 applicants. So way to fake people out thinking that they're applying for a job that they could actually get. Then we have January 14th. And by then, well, they've already hired Corbett. These go backwards. I apologize. They're at the bottom. January 13th. The day before, this is remarkable here, the day before they even offer Corbett the job, which they offered Corbett the job on January 14th. This is January 13th at 10:44 a.m. Broadway is emailing Nadine and Rick, the city manager, begging for more money for this position. So good afternoon, sir. This email is a request to go above the minimum starting salary for the general counsel position. Rob Corbett. See, he's already named him. He's already named Rob Corbett a day before he even offers it to Rob. Okay. Little shady, but whatever. Go above the minimum starting salary for the general counsel position. Rob Corbett has several years of prior experience as a commanding officer and managing attorney, where he managed approximately 25 attorneys. Okay, so I was wrong. I thought there was only 12. 25 attorneys and police officers in the police action litigation section for the New York City Police Department. Since then, Rob Corbett has passed the bar for the state of Florida in April 2024. Ooh, just in time. Rob has been practicing law since 2010. He is a retired lieutenant from the NYPD. Ooh, see, lieutenant. And brings a lot of experience and will be a great asset to CPD as general counsel and to the city. The minimum salary is $97,988.80. and $162,198.40 is the maximum. See, I'm going to question that. You saw, I saw, that was going around. That was an option, but they changed it. They actually posted, we all saw it, $130,000 as the max. So was Broadway lying to Rick Van Wagner just to get him to say yes? Because they literally, in the job description they fucking posted was $130,000 max. And now he's telling Rick in this email the maximum was $162,000. What a fucking liar. Anyways, based on his extensive experience, my request is for his starting salary to be $107,988.80. Thank you for the consideration. When we get to the letter and what he gets paid, he actually gets $120,000. So I don't know where the extra over $12,000 came from, because he was only begging for $107,000. But somehow at some point, again, nothing memorialized, no public record, maybe over the phone, like, hey, if he's this awesome, let's just give him $120,000. So I found that interesting. Next up here, you're going to see the actual letter. See, dated January 14, day after that Broadway's begging for $107,000. You know, here, you know, the basic, hey, on behalf of the city of Claremont, we are pleased to extend you a promotional opportunity as a police general counsel with the Claremont Police Department. This position earns a rate of, is it $107,000? No, motherfucker. Again, it's $120,000 annually. Where is the public record to show that there was a change? He was begging just 24 hours earlier for $107,000. Where did the extra over $12,000 come into play? Was he going back with Corbett before they officially offered it to him and Corbett said, get fucked, I want more? Is that what happened? Because I could pretty much assume that's what happened. I bet that's what happened. Corbett wanted more. And that's why there's no record of it, and all of a sudden now it's 120. You know, you can't make this shit up, okay? The city is a shit show. What's on public record changes 6 times, makes your head fucking spin, right? And there's no record of it. How did we come to 120? It was 107 last time we saw, which was just the day before. Again, I have questions. So your annual evaluation will be scheduled for April 2025. So I wish I was there for that. In line with all the other general employee annual evaluations. Quite frankly, I didn't even know this position existed until just this year. So I would have been there or tried to be there or obtain the public record for that. And then you're going to receive performance evaluations at 6 months and 12 months from the date of your promotion, yada, yada bullshit. Please sign this, you know, by January 21. Close of business on January 21. And he officially started, by the way, I believe it said promoted by the 27th of January. So, you know, all official looking. We got to make it look good. What happened to those 10 applicants? They were ignored. Okay, so here we go. The next thing here, the employee action form. I told you were going to see this, but you already know he was making $120,000. Police legal counsel, $57.69 an hour. And then you got down here under Part B, above minimum of pay grade. Of course it was, because it's Corbett, and he demands shit because he's just fucking awesome. Down here it says max $162,198. So that's as much as he can max out at. So how much is he making now? I don't know, but he started out at $120,000 January 27th of 2025. So it's been a year later. Who knows? Maybe he's up at $190,000 now. $190,000, because obviously these numbers on these pieces of paper, you know, they don't matter because they just changed. Okay, now here's where it gets interesting. They've already offered this asshole the job. So we've got January 22nd, 1:24 p.m. Hi, Diane. This is from Lindsay. Hi, Diane. I just received a call asking for an update on the Police General Counsel position. If you could please send out the notices to the candidates and interoffice me the recruitment files / interview notes. Okay, so they didn't even fucking care. Like I said, all those candidates, which I guess were candidates, right? Because they were applicants, they were all ignored. So now she's getting phone calls, right? Because remember, it closed January 8th. It's now the 22nd. They haven't been notified of, you know, they're just checking in to see, hey, did you guys fill this? What's going on? So she's getting these calls. And so she's like, hey, could you please send out notices to these people to let them know that it's been filled? That'd be real cool of you. And then also, recruitment file interview notes. So this next one, and again, it starts from the bottom and goes up. At 1:33 p.m., which is just shortly after Lindsay sends Diane that email, Diane goes, "I'm not sure what you mean. I have no letter or familiarity of what is contained with the notices to candidates and have no recruitment files or interview notes here." You know why, Diane? Because there is none. Because fucking Broadway faked everybody out. Okay? Fight me. Fight me. I will die on that hill. Okay? So Diane is sitting here going, "I don't know what you mean. No recruitment files or interview notes here." Literally, right here in your face, people. I have never done that before and do not know what is supposed to be included in a notice to applicants. Can you further advise me, please? So then Lindsay replies a little over an hour later and says, "Hi, Diane. They should minimally have notes from Robert's interview. They will need to be sent here so we can add them to his file. In OHC, you would select the candidates not hired and move them to rejected and click send notices." Okay? Nobody bothered to go in there and do shit the entire time because, again, it was smoke and mirrors. Okay? They just posted it for 6 days to make it look good that they were actually looking for people. They didn't bother to move anybody around, to send rejection notices. Diane here is admitting that she doesn't even know what the hell she's talking about. She doesn't know how to do this. Nobody bothered because it was all a fucking facade. Okay, so the next email that I'm bringing up here is Diane, because she's clueless. She doesn't know what the fuck is going on, right? She doesn't do these interviews. She's just the secretary for the chief. So she takes the email from Lindsay that is requesting these interview notes from Robert Corbett. And she says, "Hi, Chief," on the 23rd. Sorry, on the 23rd, the very next morning, early morning, not even 7 a.m., she's on the horn, aka the email with Chief, and says, "Hey, hi, Chief. Lindsay is asking for your notes from Corbett's interview for the position." Guess what, folks? Guess what? He doesn't respond. He does not respond. Now, Diane tried. She made an attempt, right? She said, "Hey, Lindsay's looking for these interview notes. Can you please send them?" Basically, right? Then later on that morning, Diane sends Lindsay another email saying, "Hey, I tried it again. This is where it took me. An activation reason, comments, no access to templates." She doesn't even understand how to use this because nobody's been in it. It was a fake. "Thank you again and apologies, but I have never used this database to this extent and I'm afraid to do something wrong that would make us look bad." I think Broadway already did that for you. And then Lindsay says, "Well, for some reason you can hit the search and select the reason for reason, you can just hit the search and select the reason or click miscellaneous. No need to apologize. Let me know if you need anything else." So that was the end of that. No interview notes, nothing on the candidates, no interview notes for them because nobody was interviewed, not even Corbett. Okay, Ray Charles can once again see that this position was created just for Corbett. This is where it gets real fucking shady. This is an email from Corbett to Broadway, March 6, 2025. Obviously, he has been on the job now for a couple months. Okay. "Chief, this would be my recommendations to document the general counsel position." Because remember, this is a brand new position. It's never, ever it's never existed. Thereby, they need to go under the general orders and amend all of the orders talking about command staff and all that, and where general counsel falls within that. And you'll see here just shortly because he's in love with himself and he loves power. So here shortly, you'll see exactly what he did. So I didn't put it in. In other words, he's trying to get Broadway's okay before he goes ahead and puts these revisions in for these general orders of command staff. I didn't put it in, but another option, and here we go, he tells on himself, is to create a, quote, legal bureau. Oh, I'm sorry. You're trying to New York or fucking Florida? Yeah, take your bullshit back to New York, asshole. Yeah, create a legal bureau. Because that's exactly what Corbett did at the NYPD, and he wanted to bring it into CPD. And he says, "Hey, it's a bureau. Um, it's a bureau, and say the general counsel is the commander of it. Let's just say, let's just create a legal bureau. It's a bureau, and say, he tries to make it all sound nonchalant. It's a very powerful position, right? And say that the general counsel is the commander of it. No personnel under it, but it's an option. Basically, I want to run fucking shit." Next paragraph. I like the NYPD language used for surgeons. There, the patrol guide says that surgeons have the assimilated rank of inspector. I figure here we can say that the general counsel has the assimilated rank of captain. What do you think? This dick. Essentially, it means that if the general counsel is giving legal advice, it comes with the weight of a captain giving an order. What a prick. Is he like on a power trip? Abso-fucking-lutely. Read my damn shirt. Aside from these, though, it would be good to add it to the organizational chart, but I didn't have that to edit. So I'm going to bring up all these little, and I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to read or show you his little changes. So you can see here, Claremont Police Department General Order, Command and Control for the title. It just gives you the command and control of each title. Now, please pay attention. He was offered this position January 14, 2025. He has this effective January 15, 2024. Now, we're at this point, we're only into March of 2025. Let me give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's still got his brain on writing 2024. So let's just give him the benefit of the doubt there. Maybe he meant to say 2025. Otherwise, he's backdating shit. Am I right? Because the position wasn't even fucking created until the end of December of 2024. All right? So if he's backdating it, he done fucked up. Or if he's half retarded and still thinking that he's in 2024 and he's used to typing that, then that is the answer to that. But wait for it. Next up, you'll see the end of that particular order. Now, this is where it gets real fucking interesting, okay? Revised in green, RC, Robert Corbett / January 4 of 2024. Okay, again, he could still be fucking up and mean to type 2025 since we're just into March at this point of 2025. But even so, where the fuck is he getting January 4? He wasn't offered the job until January 14th. So why was this motherfucker amending orders and command and power 10 days before he was even offered the job? January 4, the damn job was still up and people were still applying. So I have questions right here. Okay? That, my friend, right there is very telling. Let's go on to the next one. This one is a general order for extra duty and off-duty employment. Again, he's got 2024 up there. I already kind of described why he may have fucked that up. Who knows? Okay, and at the very end of this one, here we go again. Revised RC, January 4, 2024. Okay, and then here's another thing. Captains and general counsel. He's putting himself in as a captain there. The general counsel, if held by a sworn member, shall have the assimilated rank of captain, but shall have no operational supervisory duties. And then, of course, again, at the end of that one, January 4, 2024, revised by RC. So some heavily backdating going on here. Heavily backdating. So there you have it, folks. There you have it. So I told you at the end here, you would figure out for yourselves that this was created just for him, by him. Again, I don't think Broadway had a fucking clue about general counsels. Obviously, Corbett put it in his ear. And, Broadway wouldn't have given a fuck because, like I said, he was on his way out. Okay, so I have... I went ahead and got this from the city probably last month. This is an actual printout here. it's backwards, but just to show you that I actually am reading a real thing here. It says the city of Claremont above the minimum request. So apparently Broadway had to fill this out to go ahead and get his little buddy his $120,000, even though on the record it was $107,000. So again, there was some communication there that we didn't know about. So it says here date of hire was 10/10 of 2022. So this motherfucker really went up the ranks really quick. He was an all-time fave. So not only did he take advantage of our governor's call to action, his little law enforcement bonus made almost $7,000 off the state of Florida, but he also is making 6 figures off the city of Claremont folks, because they more than doubled his salary. So when he came on in October of 2022, previous pay was $55,124.16. He was a police officer. Total number of candidates that applied for this position, 10, except they didn't acknowledge him. Matter of fact, they had to call 2 weeks later. What the fuck's up? Did you guys hire anybody? What's going on? And then Diane's like, oh, I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know. Then she asked Lindsay, and she's trying to help her because nobody went in that. No one went in that platform and our database or whatever the fuck and did shit because they made it for Corbett. Corbett. I think I'm gonna start saying that. Corbett. Now here's where it gets interesting, and then I'll let y'all go. Average pay for employees in pay grade 123. Assistant Finance Director Jennifer Cassidy. Her hire date was May 20 of 2024. She's only been here 2 years. She makes $107,500.64. City Clerk Tracy Howe. Now, Tracy Howe is the only one in this pay grade that makes more money than anybody in this pay grade, inclusive of Corbett, but only by a little less than $10,000. September 2nd, 2003 was her hire date. So she's been here 23 years, and she makes $130,332.80. Deputy Public Services Director David, and I'm going to bastardize his name because, hey, that's what I do. David Vandever. Oh, I apologize. He makes $121,659.20. So he makes just a little bit over Corbett. He's been here 24 years, though, this David guy. He got hired on 4/8 of 2002. Then we have the Procurement Services Director, Freddie Suarez. He's been here 17 years, and he makes $117,249.60. So he has been here 17 years. Fuckface has been here not even 4 years yet, and he makes more than Mr. Freddie. Freddie, are you pissed? Are you a little bit pissed? Are you? Police Captain Michael McMaster, who actually is the deputy chief. Anyway, he's been here 24 years. And he was hired in 2001. I got a really funny story on him. I might put that out. He's been here 21 years. Or excuse me, my eyeballs went across there a little bit. He's been here, yeah, did I say 21 or did I say 24? Shit, 24 years. He was hired October 23rd of 2001. He's been here 24 years, and he makes $119,142.40 as the deputy chief. So this fuckface makes more than the deputy chief. Then we have another police captain, Jason Sayer. He's been here 21 years. He was hired October 25th, 2005. He makes $112,320. How's that make you feel, Jason? How's that make you feel? You little pest. I'd be pissed. Police Captain Stephen Strickland. He's been here 19 years. He was hired February 26th of 2007. Been here 19 years. He makes $116,272. Police Captain Malcolm Draper. He's been here 15 years. Hired May 23rd of 2011. 15 years, makes $110,389.76. So just for math, easy math, 10 grand less than Corbett, who's been here not even 4 fucking years. How's that make you feel, Draper? You guys okay with that? Draper, Strickland, Sayer, McMaster. But how does that make y'all feel? You've been here for decades. Now, some people could say, well, think about it, Danny. He came from NYPD. Hang on, I gotta get some water. He came from NYPD. He had 25 years experience. He was a fucking lieutenant who liked to beat the shit out of motherfuckers. He's experienced. Try this one. Still got it. Anyway, he's experienced. He ruled over 25 motherfucking lawyers at the Legal Bureau. He deserves 120. What the fuck's the matter with you? And again, this was 2025, right? So it's been a year, so maybe, I'm sure he makes more now. I'm sure he makes more. So they could justify it by that because he's got all this fucking experience from NYPD. But, well, you know what? Fuck NYPD. Fuck your legal bureau. Fuck this general counsel position. It needs to go in the trash can. We need to take the title away, take his money away, because several things. 1, he's a dick. 2, he's a narcissist. 3, he's just an asshole. Asshole, bitch. Should write all this down. Anyway, and here's the kicker for you. Strickland, the one that makes less money than Corbett, and has been here hella longer than Corbett, he used to be the head dick over records at the police department. Guess who is now? On top of being legal counsel, on top of being a captain, Corbett is. They booted Strickland and put him as captain over road patrol, and made Corbett the head dick over records. Really? The head dick over records. What does Corbett do that everybody loves him? I mean, his buddy Broadway has been gone. Who over there? Who? Is it Graysick? Who is it? What does Corbett do that he gets all these benefits? What does he do? What does he do? I'm curious. Corbett, you can email me if you want. Although I know you would rather talk in person, because I did get that email from you that you wanted to talk in person. Not recently. It was like, last month? Because you don't want to moralize anything. I get it. No one wants to put things on fucking paper. We saw that with this whole bullshit debacle. Nothing gets put on the record. Why? So there you have it, folks. The fucked up bullshit that is the CPD. And the lovely Broadway started the bullshit. Thanks, Broadway. Fuck you.